So today we'll see another type of scalar control strategy wherein both the flux as well as torque control can be achieved. Right? So with V by F control strategy, the disadvantage is flux control is not possible with the volt hertz control strategy. Also, the with V by F control strategy, it may happen that the line current may change. That may cause a change in flux. The starter voltage, once we reduce the starter voltage beyond a rated value, beyond a minimum threshold value, uh, the developed flux will reduce. So maintaining the ratio V by F is also practically not possible unless we uh, supply it with a boost voltage. So there are disadvantages associated with the volt hertz control as well. One of the main disadvantages is that flux will remain constant. So actually we are not having any control over the flux of the induction motor. Now why flux is control is important? Uh, because in order to improve the efficiency, in order to reduce the losses in the system, we need to maintain the flux in the system. Uh, how we can, if, how actually efficiency is optimized using flux control, that will be also discussed in later uh, sessions. But here we need to understand that flux control is important so as to increase the efficiency of induction motor while reducing the losses in the system. So for within the scalar control domain, how we can actually control flux as well as torque, we'll have a two loop control. The circuit diagram of a two loop control system will look something like this. So this is the circuit or the block diagram of a scalar control strategy that will help us control both the flux as well as the torque of the induction machine. Fine. So these measured values omega m and psi m, the measured value of flux and the measured value of speed, will be we'll use sensors for these purposes. Using a tacho generator, we can sense the volt, speed, and uh, we can also use an estimator to calculate the value of measured value of torque. Similarly, using a flux sensor, we can measure the value of flux. Compare it with the reference value. So there are two loops here. The upper loop is we have two loops here, the flux control loop and the second one we have the torque control loop. Besides, we have an outer speed control loop as well. So in case of variable voltage, variable frequency control, what we were doing is we were measuring the value of frequency, and from that measured value of frequency, we were calculating the voltage reference for the inverter by maintaining that gain K such that the ratio V by F remains constant. So that was with the variable voltage, variable frequency control or the volt hertz control. But in this case, in the flux and torque control, in which we are trying to control both the flux as well as the torque of the induction machine, what we are doing is we are separately controlling the flux of the induction machine. We are having two different loops. One loop is controlling the flux of the induction machine. Another loop is controlling the torque of the induction machine. Fine. So using this uh, strategy, we can control the flux as well as the torque of the induction machine. So that is the advantage associated with this loop, with this control scheme, that we are able to control both the flux as well as the torque of the induction machine. But the disadvantage with this scheme will now be that uh, now since we are changing the flux of the induction machine, that will actually uh, cause, and since I have been saying that flux response is sluggish, flux builds up slowly in the system. Flux response is not as quick as the speed response. That flux response will actually cause the speed response, the sluggish nature of flux response will cause the speed also to rise slowly in the system. So that will be the disadvantage with this control scheme, that our speed response will be sluggish in this case as compared to the volt hertz control strategy. Uh, this scheme will have a disadvantage, and that disadvantage is that our speed response will be sluggish. Once the flux changes in the system, it will and it rises slowly. The induced voltage in the rotor will also rise slowly since the voltage is changing slowly in the rotor circuitry. That means the speed response will also change slowly in the rotor speed will also change slowly. So that disadvantage will be incorporated in this structure, wherein we are controlling the torque as well as the flux of the induction motor. Now, in order to actually improve the speed response, what we can do is, instead of varying the voltage, uh, varying the by instead of varying the voltage, so far we have been actually dealing with voltage control only. In all the three cases, we were actually dealing with the voltage control. We were controlling the voltage uh, in the V by F control, as well as in case of flux and torque control. What we have seen is we are changing the voltage uh, feeding the induction motor. So to improve the response, the speed response, what we can do is we can actually vary the current. So another scalar control strategy will be a current controlled uh, a current controlled variable frequency drive. So instead of controlling the voltage now by controlling the flux loop, what we are doing is now we'll be controlling the stator current, and the circuit diagram will look something like this. It is almost similar. So this is another control strategy. So far in the variable voltage and the previous control strategy, torque and flux control strategy, what we did was we were controlling the voltage of the induction motor. Now instead of controlling the voltage, we can also control the stator current. Uh, the idea behind stator current control is that uh, current rise is much more rapid as compared to the voltage rise. So accordingly, the speed response will be better in case of current control. It will be more dynamic, more robust in case of current control as compared to voltage control. So what we are doing is we are actually measuring uh, the torque and the flux of the induction motor, comparing them with reference values of torque and flux, feeding them to a PI controller, and obtaining reference values of current and reference value of omega E. Accordingly, we can calculate IA, IB, and IC as IA is I star sine omega t, IB is I star sine omega t minus 120. So we are getting reference values of IA, IB, and IC, the three phase currents. These are the reference values. We are now comparing the reference values of IA, IB, and IC with their measured values of IA, IB, and IC. Using a current sensor, we can measure the values of IA, IB, and IC, compare them with reference values of IA, IB, and IC. So this is actually an hysteresis current controller. So hysteresis current control will give us different pulses feeding the inverter. Fine. So we are actually will be actually getting six pulses for six different switches of the three phase VSI that will be feeding the induction motor. So this is the control strategy of a current controlled induction motor drive. And one more important thing here is that we are not actually giving, we are not directly calculating or directly feeding the reference value of flux. The reference value of flux or the rated value of flux can be programmed using different efficiency optimization techniques. We can actually, uh, from the known values of torque, we can generate what will be the value of what should be the value of flux at which our system operates most efficiently. Right? तो मैंने जैसे आपको बताया फ्लक्स को कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज हम कर सकते हैं फॉर बेटर एफिशिएंसी दैट विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन लेटर सेशंस राइट तो यहाँ पे इतना आपको याद रखना है ये जो फ्लक्स प्रोग्राम मैंने लिखा है यहाँ पे आई एम डिराइविंग द रेफरेंस वैल्यू ऑफ फ्लक्स फ्रॉम द मेजर्ड वैल्यू फ्रॉम द रेफरेंस वैल्यू ऑफ टॉर्क so using a programming or an optimization algorithm we can derive we can feed the flux value that that will be an optimum value of flux at which the efficiency of the system will be maximum. Fine. And as said, this drive scheme, the current control drive scheme, will be much more robust as compared to voltage control drive scheme in both acceleration as well as in regenerative mode. The response will be much more robust. Fine. So current response is much more robust as compared to the voltage response. So speed will rise much more quickly as compared to voltage controlled induction motor drive. So that's why we prefer sometimes current controlled induction motor drives as compared to voltage controlled induction motor drives. So the acceleration, deceleration, both will be improved in this case. The disadvantage, however, with this system is that we are using a hysteresis current controller. The modulation scheme that we are employing here is the hysteresis current controller. जो हमारी pulses generate हो रही है, pulse width modulated pulses जो generate हो रही है, वो current comparison से generate हो रही है through a hysteresis current controller. So the disadvantage with the hysteresis current controller as compared to PWM or SPWM is that it will produce variable switching frequency. It does not जो हमारी frequency switching frequency होगी pulses की, that will not remain constant. It will be variable, and because of the variable nature of switching frequency, uh, there are there will be ripples associated with the current. There will be ripples associated with the torque. Uh, there will there will also be much the THD will be much poorer in this case as compared to the voltage controlled or pulse width controlled PWM SPWM controlled induction motor drives. So we have seen two different schemes today. In the last session हमने वोल्ट हर्ट्ज कंट्रोल स्टडी किया था. वोल्ट हर्ट्ज कंट्रोल में सिंपली हम क्या करते हैं कि हम जो रेशियो है वो V by F उसको कांस्टेंट रखते हैं ताकि जो हमारा फ्लक्स है वो कांस्टेंट रहे और हम स्पीड को आराम से कंट्रोल कर सकें. फाइन. हमने वी डिड open loop voltage control as well as the closed loop voltage control. Today we started with the flux and torque control. So these are all scalar control strategies. इन सब में हम खाली scalar control adopt कर रहे हैं. That means we are actually only dealing with the magnitude variation of voltage or of frequency. Fine. हम phase को control नहीं कर रहे हैं. We have not controlled the phase in any of these control strategies. ठीक है. So today we started with the flux and torque control. So इसमें क्या है कि हम फ्लक्स लूप को अलग से कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं, टॉर्क को अलग से कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं. सो इस सिस्टम की ये एडवांटेज है कि हम दोनों फ्लक्स एज वेल एज टॉर्क को कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हैं. इन द वोल्ट हर्ट्ज कंट्रोल वी could only control the torque, flux remains constant. Fine. So we need to control the flux to actually make the system more efficient, to reduce the losses in the system. If flux control is not possible, our system will not be efficient. So to incorporate flux control strategy, we have designed a flux and torque control loop. So अब जहाँ पे जो requirement होगी उसी हिसाब से हम डिज़ाइन करेंगे. If we only require speed control in any application, तो वहाँ पे हम variable voltage, variable और we can say volt hertz control use करेंगे. Fine. जहाँ पे हमें we want our system to also be efficient. We want the system losses to be less. वहाँ पे हम flux and torque control strategy employ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे हम फ्लक्स को भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं और टॉर्क को भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. The disadvantage with this system is obviously that since flux response is sluggish, that will actually make the speed response sluggish as well. Since flux and torque they are coupled in case of AC machines. And to somehow better the performance of flux and torque control loop, we can go for current controlled IM drive. In case of current controlled strategy, what we are doing is we are controlling the starter current. Instead of controlling the voltage, we are now controlling the current of the induction motor. The advantage with current controlled drive is that current response is much more robust as compared to voltage response. Current rises more rapidly as compared to voltage. That means our speed response will be much better as compared to a voltage controlled induction motor drive. So we are again here controlling both the flux as well as the torque of the induction motor with this strategy. Uh, the associated problem with this control strategy, however, is the use of hysteresis current controller. ठीक है, इसमें ये disadvantage है कि हम HCC यूज कर रहे हैं इसमें, that is the hysteresis current controller. हिस्टरेसिस करंट कंट्रोलर से क्या होता है कि आपकी जो स्विचिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी होगी पल्सेस की वो वेरिएबल होगी, वो कांस्टेंट नहीं होगी। उसकी वजह से जो आपका और हिस्टरेसिस करंट कंट्रोलर की ये भी डिसएडवांटेज है कि इसमें जो करंट्स होंगे उनमें रिपल्स होंगे। करंट में जब रिपल्स होंगे तो टॉर्क में भी रिपल्स होंगे। दैट मीन्स करंट में जब रिपल्स होंगे दैट मीन्स आपका जो THD है दैट इज नॉट एफिशिएंट। That HCC, if you have not studied HCC previously, HCC में क्या होता है कि आप एक रेफरेंस करंट और मेजर्ड करंट को कंपेयर करते हो to generate the pulses of the induction motor. Now, how this exactly works is that our reference current will look something like this. It will be symmetrical about the x-axis. This is our reference value of current. Fine, so it has an upper band and a lower band. So our measured value of current, that's the actual starter current. इसमें क्या होगा कि आपकी जो starter current होगी that will rise. Fine. When it touches the upper band, logic states that आपका जो pulse है, आपकी जो switch है, that should turn off. So corresponding to this point, जो आपका pulse होगा that will be 0. ठीक है, as soon as अगर हमारी पल्स 0 है, हमारा स्विच टर्न ऑफ हो रहा है, तो दैट मीन्स हमारी करंट रिड्यूस होगी। सो करंट विल रिड्यूस, सो इट विल रीच सम लोअर बैंड। ठीक है, जैसे ये लोअर बैंड को टच करेगा, लॉजिक हमने ऐसा डेवलप किया होगा कि दैट मीन्स हम स्विच को अब टर्न ऑन करेंगे। Once we turn on the switch, current will rise again. It will reach the upper band. The logic will we will have simply using if else logic. If current is equal to this, then output should be 0. If current is equal to lower band, current pulse should be equal to 1. So current will actually rise and fall within this band, and that will actually determine the pulse pattern. ठीक है, if current touch the upper band, pulse should be 0. If current touch the lower band, pulse should be equal to 1. जैसे ही pulse 1 होगा, current will rise. जैसे ही pulse 0 होगा, current will drop. Fine. So our current is varying in this reference band, and accordingly our pulses are being generated for the inverter. So if these are pulses for the upper leg switch S1, say for example, by using a simple NOT gate, we can generate the pulses for the lower leg switch, that is S4. See, fine, of a three-phase inverter. So our So this is the actual measured value of current. So you can see that our actual current is rippled in nature. It's not it's not a perfect sinusoidal waveform. It's a rippled sinusoidal waveform. Now जितना हम ये बैंड कम करेंगे उतना रिपल्स मीन्स जितना ये बैंड नैरो होगा उतने आपके करंट में रिपल्स कम होंगे, जितना आपका बैंड वाइड होगा उतने रिपल्स ज़्यादा होंगे। ऑल्सो जितना बैंड आपका कम होगा उतनी ज़्यादा स्विचिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी होगी आपकी, जितना बैंड वाइड होगा उतनी कम स्विचिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी होगी आपकी। Fine. So this is the logic of hysteresis current controller. Using this logic, we can generate the pulses for the inverter. Now we will be comparing the current references of all the three phases for the 6 switch inverter. Okay, so you can see that current is rippled. Accordingly, torque will also be rippled since torque is directly proportional to current, and that means our THD in case of this system will be much poorer as compared to a voltage controlled device. So that's the disadvantage associated with current controlled scheme. So this is all about the scalar control strategies, different scalar control strategies. In the next session, we'll be starting with the dynamic modeling of the induction motor, and based upon that, we'll derive the vector control strategy as well.